preparing for the worst. Survival is the thirst, a channel for the purpose where the burst safety comes first. Rural report guiding you through the storm. When disaster strikes, we'll keep you informed. Gather your gear, stock up your pantry. When the world goes dark, we'll guide you to sanity. From shelter to first aid, we'll cover it all. On Rural Report, we stand tall.
Hello again. Welcome back, everybody, to another edition of the Rural Report. I am your Rural 2IC, and today we're going to do another rural talk, aka the ugly truth about SHTF. This one I wanted to kind of piggyback off of a video that I did in one of our series, and it's going to go on leadership. Okay. Now, depending on your age, at least back when I kind of entered into the workforce, you entered in on the low end, okay, the bottom tier, if you will, that entry level position. And when you got in there, you were hungry for knowledge. You really wanted to have that aspiration. You aspired to move up the ladder. You wanted to be in charge. You wanted to keep going. You wanted to work your way up. And while you were there, you would listen to people that were in that elevated position as they would tell you, I started at the ground level just like you did. And they motivated and they gave all these inspiration speeches about how you start at the ground level and you have that ability to work your way up. I don't know if that's true so much anymore, but it goes into most of the things, whether that's military. You look up and you see those, generals with the stars on their patches, or on their arms, excuse me. Or you look up and you see board of directors, CEOs, presidents of the company, even president of the United States, right? It's a major top tier position that you're trying to get your foot in the door so you can move your way up. The thing is when it comes to SHTF, okay, now this channel is a very big proponent of not going through SHTF alone. And that includes whether that is a personal SHTF, a localized, a regional, or worldwide, okay, whatever it is, you shouldn't have to go through it alone. Now, sometimes you just need a friend or some family to help out, sometimes it's, you got to call in the whole mag or the whole tribe, group, whatever. It just depends on what the situation calls for. And so when it comes into leadership, there's a lot of people, I think, that listen to these stories or watch these movies, TV shows, read books or whatever, and they get that notion of, I want to be in charge, I want to be the leader of the group. And I'm here to tell you the ugly truth about that. Okay, there's a lot of people that may want the job, there's a lot of people that may really want the job. There's very few that actually should be in charge. There's a lot of people, I think, want the title without the responsibility, and I think that's true for a lot of the workforce today. But when it comes to this, I want people to understand, okay, as you listen to this, if you're talking about true SHTF, okay, think about just whatever the worst disaster that you've ever been in and multiply that out. Do you want to be in charge of friends, of family, of children, of elderly, of people that you know, love, trust, care about? Do you want to be in charge of their survival? Think about that for just a minute. How much do you have faith in yourself, all of your abilities, all of your knowledge of everything, that you are the one to make the decision? When it comes down to it, whatever it is, do you have that ability? Now, there's a lot of people that think that they do, but I'm telling you, you're going to come into, and hopefully you don't, okay? Let me make that very clear now. If you have a really bad SHTF situation, to make that call, you probably made it with the best of intentions. The only thing is, though, is not all plans go according to plan, right? Can you live with the consequences of your decision? If you really wanted to become leader, and you did it, okay? You are the leader of your group, your tribe, whatever, your mag. Everybody's looking for you. They want your decision. You are the center of attention. You are the center of the group. Everybody is leaning on you and your thought process. So you should have help. Okay. If you plan on being a leader alone, we just talked about this. You should never go through SHTF, small or worldwide, alone. You should never be a leader alone. You should surround yourself with people of various mindset of expertise. You have a weakness, okay? It may be a lot, it may be a little bit, but you are not an expert in every single field that you are going to need for SHTF. I know I'll get people that'll push back and they'll say, well, there was people that were in the old days. They knew how to fix something and grow food and do this and do that. Yes, I get that. The only problem with that is most of us do not live that way, to where that was passed down by generation after generation, that we were doing those things as a child, did them as we grew up in our childhood, and continue to do them as an adult. Most of us are trying to pick up a lot of these skills and uh, ancient knowledge from books and YouTube videos and things like that. So there's a learning curve to this. To be able to have enough knowledge, maybe enough to get you through. But that comes back to the aspiration side. Okay. My bottom tier goal for SHTF is everybody that's in my group survives. That is my bottom goal. My aspiration goal, my high tier, is I want everybody to live as comfortably and as happy as they possibly can for as long as they can. I want the kids to be learning. I want them to play. I want them to laugh and have fun. I want the adults to have a sense of purpose, that they belong, that they matter, that the reason that they are there is to contribute, to help one another. I don't want to have it to where it is constant 24-hour stress and fear. I want to be able to put my group and my mag into a situation to where, yes, bad things are going to happen. Bad scenarios and situations are going to happen. Unfortunate, unforeseen things are going to happen. But we're going to do everything we can to prepare for those so it gives us the best possible outcome. Now, in a leadership role, you should surround yourself to where, if it is not a situation that requires an immediate decision, you should gather people. Okay. Every single person, from president to king, has advisors. They have people that will walk through their thought process. Because again, you're probably not a master in everything. So if you're in SHTF and the crops look like they're not doing very well, yes, you may have a good thing on crops and whatnot, but wouldn't it be better to bring in all the farmers and all the different people that have knowledge about growing food, sit down, discuss it, just have that little bit of a discussion to go through? Maybe you have something on the security detail. You can make a snap decision, you can, or you can gather the people and listen to the concerns and collectively come up with a solution. Now, you may have to be the one to where there's two solutions that have come up, and you get half that wants one thing and half wants the other, and you have to make the tie breaking decision. I get that. But you also are going to be put in those snap decisions. You have seconds to decide the fate of what is going to come. And you have to be able to live with those consequences. To be able to go, do we go left or right, not knowing what's behind each door, that left is the correct one, and that if you choose right, somebody you love and care about may not make it. Can you sleep at night? And the big thing, too, is to make sure that there are people to take your place in every single role and responsibility of your mag. There needs to be people on the bench. You need to have more than one leader. The people that should not lead, they try and suppress people that are coming for their job. Shouldn't be like that. Most of the people should be able to at least temporarily step up into that role to make sure things are rolling smoothly as they possibly can until either they can fully take on that responsibility or somebody else can take on that responsibility. Remember, without a leader, there is a vacuum of power. It has to be filled. That void cannot remain empty, or that is where you get anarchy and problems. Things become dangerous. So, every single one. When I talked about leadership in that last video, it should not be one leader. Now, if you have a really small group, maybe there's less than 10 of you, sure, okay, you can have one leader. If you are a pretty decent sized group, each role should technically have its own leader. You can think about it as store managers. There's a bunch of Walmarts all over the city. You got 5 or 6 of them, but they all have their own store manager. But those store managers have a boss. Okay, now that top tier boss could be you, and if you are not it, maybe you're the store manager. Maybe you're the assistant store manager. Just because you're not up here doesn't mean that you don't fall into place here, here, here. You have a role. And if each of your people in your group does not have a role, then you're going to run into problems. The federal government has a continuity of government, okay? All the way down to the local dog catcher. If something happens right here, boom, this guy's next, this guy's next, this guy's next. Your group needs the same thing. If you are the leader, something happens to you, whether it's temporary, whether it's permanent, somebody needs to be able to know immediately they're up next. And if the top 2 people go, third, fourth, fifth, every single person needs to have an understanding of where they fit in and what happens in this situation. Leadership is a make or break, okay? If it's just going to be your family, you, your husband, your wife, your kids, there's 3, 4, 5 of you, one of you still has to make those decisions. Somebody has to be able to go through and make the very, very important decisions. You do it now. You decide where you're going to go to eat and how to balance the checkbook and whether or not to buy a new car or used car or to take out the loan for a $200,000 house or to quit your job and go to another job or whatever. Okay. You make a ton of very important decisions, whether you know it or not now. But you also have to be honest with yourself. Just because you really want to be a leader, are you going to be that leader? Can you follow? Because a true leader has the ability to follow. I think that there is people that are quote unquote natural born leaders. They have those traits and those qualities. Those are very, very few and far in between, at least in my opinion. You can learn to become a leader, but a really true great leader is humble enough to know that they must wait. They must wait their turn. There's a time and a place, okay? You have to have your values, you have to have your morals, you have to know where your red lines are. A true leader should always want peace. Okay, whether that's peace within your group on your land, whether that's peace with a neighboring group, whatever it is, a leader should always strive after peace because peace brings safety and security. But at what cost? There's a cost to everything, and a leader must be able to make those decisions. Maybe there's a group, a neighboring group, that they are threatening to come over because they're running low on resources. You have a decision to make. You go over there and start a battle with them. There's a cost to that. Maybe you can share some of your food. Hey, I'll tell you what, you stay over there, and once a week, we're going to give you 10 pounds of food. There's a cost, right? Maybe it is a listen, I'm not going to fight you. I'm not going to give you anything. You stay over there. I'll stay over here. And that's going to be the agreement. There's still a cost to that because you can't put your guard down. You've got to watch them. You got to make sure that what they agreed to is what they're staying to because, you're probably going to have to amp up security a little bit more. You're going to have to make sure that they're keeping up their end of the bargain. There's a cost to all of it. And if you don't understand that there's a cost to every single decision, however massive or minute it might be, maybe leadership's not it. The only thing is, though, is to know your place. Maybe you're a strong number two. Maybe you are really good second in command. Maybe you are a really good assistant. Maybe you're a really good assistant to the assistant. There's a place for every single one of you. You just got to know your place. And you have to make sure that everybody around you knows your place and their place and they understand it. You have a contingency when a situation happens. Where's your red line? What's going to happen if A happens, if B happens, if C happens? When a leader looks at something, they have to be able to weigh the plus, the minus, the cost, the time, everything. They have to take it all into consideration. Otherwise, they're going to make probably a pretty poor choice. So if you are thinking that you want to be in a leadership role, okay, where? You want to be the top? You want to be the leader? Are you ready for that? Maybe you want to be the assistant to the leader. I want to make the real big choices. I will if I have to. But I would rather be down here in a more advisory role. Maybe you just want to be a leader of one of the groups. I'm really, really good at farming. And so I'm going to be the leader of the people that grow food. But I don't know anything about security or childcare or any, all this other stuff. I'm going to stay in my lane because I'm pretty good. I'm pretty much an expert in that. Okay. But you still have almost the same responsibilities. Every decision you have comes with a cost. And you have to be prepared not only for you to pay the cost, but for every other person that's in that group. They have to bear the cost because if you make the wrong call, then everybody is going to suffer the consequence because of your bad decision. You're human. You're going to make a bad decision. You're going to be incorrect. All of us are. Nobody's perfect. You have to understand that you're going to make a bad call. It's what you do with that bad call afterwards. Can you fix it? Can you learn from it? Did you understand the risk and reward? You made a bad call and it failed. Is it something that is going to devastate? Or is it a small risk where it's just going to be a minor inconvenience? That's up to you. So I hope that you got something out of this. Maybe I got you thinking a little bit. I don't want to scare anybody away that wants to be a leader, but I want you to understand the role, the responsibility, all the things that come with it. You can be the deciding factor that leads your group straight through SHTF where everybody comes out fine. Or you can be the one that you wanted to be a leader so badly that when you got into it, you made poor decision after poor decision, and maybe none of you make it. There's a lot to this, and we may visit leadership again. Okay. So I hope you got some substance out of this, something of value. If not, hopefully maybe a little bit of entertainment. Okay. Do all the YouTube things, hit the thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, leave a comment down. What do you think? What's your opinion on all of this? With that, I'm going to say that I hope you had a good day. I hope you have a blessed day. Stay tuned because there's definitely more information to come. With that, I want to remain united because we're all prepping in this together.